What if I told you that the vanilla mother of four and the submissive masochist share the same perspective on pain? Would you believe me? Stay tuned today as I discuss the socially acceptable forms of masochism and the staggering truth about the role pain plays in BDSM and your unique power exchange dynamic. Not all pain is created equal. In fact, it is vitally important that we break down the three distinct categories of pain that I will be referring to in this video. The first one being positive pain, as used in BDSM. The second, NSSI, which refers to acts of non-suicidal self-harm. And 3, sadomasochism disorder, which is only a diagnosis in context not compatible with BDSM standards, which I'm about to break down. So, the first category here, positive pain. Positive pain is the use of heightened, intense, or overtly painful sensations or experiences to evoke feelings of submission, pleasure, and release. NSSI, or non-suicidal self-injury, is a self-inflicted act that causes pain or superficial damage but is not intended to cause death, such as cutting, burning, picking, hair pulling, extreme nail biting, excessive plucking, etc. And I actually wrote a femdom story about how BDSM can be used as therapy to heal from NSSI tendencies. If you want to read Biting, just go to patreon.com/LXerotica and sign up at any tier level to access instantly. And our third category is sexual sadomasochism disorder. The DSM-5, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, defines sadomasochism as a possible psychological disorder only if such acts result in clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning, or to be done with a non-consenting partner. I wanted to give you 6 traits of each category so that you can very clearly see that positive pain as used in BDSM has nothing to do with self-harm, has nothing to do with sadomasochism disorder. It has nothing to do with that. In fact, scientist Pamela Connolly did a study in 2006 that compared BDSM practitioners to their vanilla peers across 10 primary psychological disorders. Her results found that compared to the vanilla participants, kinky participants had lower levels of depression, anxiety, PTSD, psychological sadism disorder, psychological masochism disorder, borderline pathology, and paranoia. In other words, Pamela Connolly's findings confirm what I'm saying here. Positive pain in BDSM is not self-harm and it's not sadomasochism disorder. It is very, very different. So let's break down the distinct traits of each category. So positive pain in BDSM is fully mindful, not forced, and not coerced. Positive pain is also performed in the presence of full safety and trust. Positive pain is performed to reach a desired sensation. Positive pain is performed to reach a desired outcome. Positive pain is also controlled, as in the pain can end at any time. And positive pain is inflicted without causing harm. And that's one of the biggest takeaways. I asked my own community about this. What do you love so much about receiving pain? As a bottom, as a submissive, what do you enjoy so much about it? And one of the themes that came up over and over was the rush of surrender and trust that happens when you trust your partner to hurt you but not harm you. Okay, and we're going to talk about that difference later on in the video, that there is a difference between pain and harm. And one of the facets of positive pain in BDSM is it's done safely, sanely, and with consent. We're not here to cause harm. We're not here to cause damage. We're actually preventing harm and preventing damage when we inflict consensual pain. Now, as I'm about to demonstrate, that is very, very different than NSSI, or non-suicidal self-injury. And some of the traits behind NSSI include the victim experiences mild to severe disassociation. NSSI acts are performed to ease emotional pain, anxiety, shame, etc. These acts cause social or occupational withdrawal or impairment. These acts cause physical or functional limitations or impairment. The victim feels out of control or stuck in this cycle of self-harm. And harm is inflicted through the use of pain. All right, so we see the differences here. We just contrast our list of traits of positive pain and our list of traits of NSSI. We can see they're very, very different. They're not even in the same category. All right, so we take that a step further when we start evaluating sadomasochism as a disorder, okay? Now, according to the DSM-5, psychological sadomasochism disorder includes if these acts are done non-consensually. So that's at the top of our list here. Also, the DSM-5 said that psychological sadomasochism disorder causes clinically significant distress. It causes social impairment. It causes occupational impairment. It also often causes impairment of executive functioning skills. And we also find in psychological sadomasochism disorder that harm is inflicted, just like NSSI, through the use of pain. We are inflicting harm, or harm is being inflicted through the use of pain, whereas in BDSM, pain is being inflicted without harm. Very, very different. And that's what I was touching on earlier, the difference between pain and harm. In BDSM, part of the rush for the bottom, for the submissive, for the receiver, in an impact play scene, in a masochistic scene that's receiving these intense sensations, these painful sensations, they are feeling this rush of mental, emotional, sexual release because they so fully trust their top partner, their dominant partner, the one who's giving them these sensations. They so trust them to administer these things that they want to feel, they've consented to enthusiastically without any coercion, without any fear of repercussions if they back away, if they change their mind. They've consented to all of these things, they want all of these things. And they have such a rush because they fully trust their dominant, their top, to not harm them. They feel so safe in these sensations because at any time, they can stop the pain. They can call their safe word. They can go, no, I'm done. I've had enough. So they are fully in control of these sensations. They may not know what to expect, but they know that they can end it at any time. And they also know that their partner that's giving these sensations is looking out for their safety. Therefore, they can check out mentally and emotionally. They don't have to think. They don't have to overanalyze. They can just release whatever emotions comes up. This is what we talked about last week in the therapy spanking video. Whatever emotion comes up, whatever you just need to go through and process. That often happens in play scenes that involved impact, sadomasochistic activities, etc. And part of the release is the difference between pain and harm. We trust that we will experience pain the way we want to experience pain, but we will not experience harm. In fact, John Warren, a 30-year dominant in the BDSM community, perfectly summarizes the point I'm making here between pain versus harm. In his book, The Loving Dominant, he writes, "More than once, I have had to pause during a session to untangle a strap which was pinching my submissive or to ease her leg cramps. Why did these pains bring her down when she was receiving substantially greater pain from the whipping?" That's exactly what I am trying to convey here. That masochism within BDSM includes the knowledge that you will experience pain, but will also be protected from harm. So therefore, this positive pain, of the whipping. In John's example, the positive pain in the whipping was a stress reliever. It was a release. It was a wonderful, positive thing to the submissive because it was known, it was controlled, right? It could end at any time. And it was in this context of safety and trust, right? But the leg cramp or the pinch, that was not discussed, right? That was not negotiated. That was unforeseen. That was unexpected. That was something that the submissive could not control. Therefore, it became not a release, but a negative stressor. That's the difference. It was a negative pain, not a positive pain. And that's why John said he had to quickly adjust, untangle, ease leg cramps, because we don't want that kind of pain. We want the positive pain that the submissive knows about, they've agreed to, and they know that they can end it at any time. And until they do, it's being perfectly controlled by their dominant. That is where the ecstasy happens. In the introduction, I posed a question to you, and it was, would you believe me if I told you that the vanilla mother of 4 children and the submissive masochist shared the same definition of pain? Would you believe me? Well, just as I've broken down the 6 traits of positive pain in BDSM, the 6 traits of NSSI or non-suicidal self-injury, and the 6 main traits of psychological sadomasochism disorder, I want to give you 6 of the most common, socially acceptable forms of masochism, because they exist and you see them all the time. So this vanilla narrative that is so shameful toward us kinksters who enjoy pain is absolutely, totally flawed. The logic is not even sound. The argument cannot even stand on its own 2 feet, and I'm going to show you why right now. So if you have ever come across someone with body piercings or body modifications, that's a socially acceptable form of masochism. If you've ever seen anyone with tattoos, even 1 tattoo, multiple tattoos, that is a socially acceptable form of masochism. What about plastic surgery? That shit hurts like hell. Socially acceptable form of masochism. Also, ladies, childbirth. I can think of nothing more masochistic than signing up for that, all right? And then, of course, we've just got the pro athlete, the bodybuilder, the fireman, the police officer, those who serve in the military. So positive pain, that is the use of heightened or painful sensations or experiences to bring about a positive outcome, that happens all the time in even vanilla culture. And we see it everywhere, especially in the list of things that I just laid out for you. So the truth about masochism and BDSM is, it's really no different than a variety of forms of masochism we see in society every day. And when we view each other through that lens, through the lens of empathy and curiosity versus ego and judgment, we will realize it is far easier to connect in love with those around us, even with those that may seem so different. So if you enjoyed this content, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click that notification bell so you'll never miss a post, and comment below with any questions you would like me to answer in an upcoming video.